Hi, good morning. This is Mary Jane Gonzaga and welcome back again to my channel. And in today's video, we will be discussing about Activa, one of the project of Filinvest in CUBAO. And if you are new to my channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And for you to get notified every week for my new video clips, please don't forget to click the notification bell.
So here we have Activa with the slogan Live the Beat. So the slogan that we have for Activa perfectly describes it as a development. Okay. So Activa here comes from the phrase active life, which describes it as a development. Activa is a mixed-use development that perfectly combines the live, work, and play in one holistic environment. So as mentioned, Activa is located in CUBAO Quezon City, specifically at the intersection of the two major thoroughways that we have here in Metro Manila, which is EDSA and Aurora Boulevard. So if you're familiar with this area, we are nearby the MRT and LRT CUBAO stations as well as the Araneta Coliseum, just to name a few. So we are situated at the heart of the metro, in which that intersection of the two major roads in Metro Manila makes it a very accessible project via different transportation terminals, whether you are coming from the north, the south, the east, or the west. So as mentioned, we are in close proximity to the two major train lines of the country, namely the MRT and LRT stations, or the MRT and LRT Cubao station. So we are a 4-minute walk away from these stations, so that links the project from the north and the south to through the MRT, and then the east and the west through the LRT stations. Aside from that, we are also accessible via different city and provincial bus stations that are traversing right along EDSA. So we have the usual city buses that traverse along EDSA, and then of course the different bus terminals that are situated in Cubao, since Cubao is known for being a hub for these provincial bus terminals. Aside from that, we are around 16 kilometers from NAIA and 82 kilometers from the Clark International Airport. So this is the site development plan for Activa. So as you can see here, we have highlighted different points wherein different kinds of vehicles can access the development. So what we have here, vehicle pickup points that can access the different components, such as the Activa Office Tower, Activa Flats, Activa Flex, and of course the Activa Mall. And of course, since we are facing EDSA, we also have a bus lay-by. So if you're familiar with the concept of the bus lay-by in Mega Mall, we are incorporating a similar concept, so to ensure that those pedestrians that would be commuting to and from via different buses to and from the Cubao area, they can safely alight and then sumakay sila sa mga buses. And of course, since we are nearby the MRT and LRT stations, we have a proposed pedestrian link that links the project to the MRT and LRT train station. So this would ensure mass security and safety for those who are exchanging train lines or for those who are visiting the project from the different train stations. So as mentioned, Activa is a mixed-use development that lets you co-invest with Filinvest land. Since it is a mixed-use development, it is comprised of different components such as Activa Flex, Activa Flats, Activa Office Tower, and Activa Mall. With those components, you are able to create a community that is co-beneficial to each other. So here is the vertical elevation of Activa. As you can see, this is what composes of Activa. So we have the different components such as Activa Flex with 24 levels, Activa Flats with 32 levels, and Activa Office Tower with 14 levels. Carrying all of these towers on top would be the Activa Mall with 5 levels. So this would be the podium level, the Activa Mall. And then just to give you a more in-depth run-through of the components that we have, let's start with Activa Mall. So Activa Mall is a 5-level lifestyle mall with different establishments such as supermarkets, retail shops, specialty retail establishments, wellness hubs, fashion boutiques, and digital establishments, just to name a few. We also have feature floors such as the 4th floor that features the food hall, the cinema, and the casual dining areas. And at the 5th floor, we have the retail podium and the lush alfresco area. So this is just what you can expect of the feature floors that we have. So the 4th floor food court and the 5th floor retail podium. Next component we have would be the Activa Office Tower. So this office tower would be the office tower for lease. So Just to give you a quick description of the project, so Activa Office Tower comprises of 14 typical office floors that are all pre-certified LEED gold, which means that we are a green development. So we have 10 high-speed elevators that would service all of our locators and transport all of their employees. We provide N+1 emergency backup power for the building to ensure that there would be no business disruption in case of any power interruption. And of course, to ensure that there is an ease of business operations on a day-to-day basis, we provide high-density telecoms provisions for all of our locators. And for amenities for all of the employees to enjoy, we have the roof garden. Another office product that we have and what we are currently selling right now would be Activa Flex. So Activa Flex is an office building as well, but it comprises of different office types that can cater to the different needs of any client that we may encounter. So Activa Flex, a short descriptor of it, is that it is where you can find space to cultivate your passion in your own small office, home office unit. We have traditional office spaces that are designed for efficient daily operations that are available for medium to large scale businesses. So we have a total of 24 floors for Activa Flex and a total of 320 units that are set to complete by 2025. So this is an example of the office that you may expect that our client can put up within Activa Flex. So this is an example if our client is an upcoming or planning to become an architect in the future and would want to invest in a space that they can use for themselves in the future, they can avail an office space from us. So this is an example of what they can do to their specific unit. So they can fit it out accordingly to their business needs. So they can fit it out with workstations, collaboration area, and of course their private own office. In terms of the product types that we have for Activa Flex, so first product type would be the compound office. So the compound office is geared towards more to larger businesses. So these are bigger in cut. So this would allow them more space for their business endeavors. So what's nice about these units is that if they would purchase a whole floor, they would be given the right or the exclusive use for the limited common areas such as the hallways, so that this would ensure them more space to fit out so that they can use this additional space for their business needs. In terms of turnover, since we are an office product, we turn over the units with similarly already to an office. So the floors are bare concrete and then exposed concrete soffit ceilings. In terms of the partitions between the units, we have the light frame wall if purchased individually, but we can remove the walls if they purchase it as a whole floor. And then in terms of toilet and stubble provisions, there are no private toilets that are provided for each of the units. Instead, we only have stubble provisions for each of the units so that they can construct an executive toilet or a pantry. All else, they would have access to the common toilet facilities located on their designated floor. If the client is looking for a smaller unit or something not necessarily as big as a compound unit, they can go to the regular office floor. So these units are located at the 18th to the 20th floor. So they can actually, if they would want to purchase units that are not necessarily as big as a compound office, but bigger than an individual regular office unit, they can choose to combine units together so that these floors actually give them more flexibility in terms of the size that they would need. So similarly, we deliver them with bare concrete floors and an exposed concrete soffit ceiling, and then the partitions between the different units would be a light frame wall. And then in terms of toilet provisions, only units 1 and 17 would have stub-out provisions for an executive toilet or pantry. All other units would only have access to the common toilet facilities. We also have special regular office floors such as 21st floor. So the 21st floor, the units that are located here are the high ceiling regular office units. So with its same high ceiling, the floor to ceiling height for these units are at 5.4 meters. So this would give them enough space not only in the horizontal clearing but also in the vertical clearing for them to construct a mezzanine or a loft within their unit. So this would give them more space for their business needs. So if they would want to utilize the lower half of their purchase unit, they can utilize it as a workspace, and then the upper half would be their executive office. So these units, if as you can see, we have highlighted units together. So these units that are highlighted together are purchased as a set. So this would allow the clients that would purchase these units to have that right amount of space for them to construct the necessarily things for their mezzanine level for their specific units. Another special regular office unit floor that we have would be the 22nd floor. So we call them the executive regular offices. So as you can see, the difference of these units from the previous regular office units is that these units are already delivered with their own private toilet and bath. So since with its name executive regular office, these units are geared towards the higher ups of a business, or in short, executives of a business. So these are geared towards to being private offices. So we already provide them the luxury of having their own private toilet and bath within their own unit. So these units would not have common toilet facilities, since all of them would already have their own private toilet facility within their own unit. And what's nice about this floor is at the 22nd floor, we have the roof deck, and the roof deck has the view of the Eastern Highlands. So if they would want a breath of fresh air, or if they would want to accommodate a small party or an event, they can utilize this space as well. And then last product type that we have for Activa Flex would be the SOHO, or the small office home office unit. So these units are more flexible in terms of how our buyer or the tenant can choose to use it. So with its name, the small office home office, they can actually use it as a small office in the morning, or their dwelling place in the evening, or they can use it purely as an office space, or purely as their dwelling space as well. So these units are located at the 23rd to the 31st floor, and we have variations in terms of the types of the SOHO units. So we have 1-bedroom SOHO units, we have studio SOHO units, and we also have 2-bedroom SOHO units. So as you can see, we deliver it already closely to a residential unit. So since they can use it as their dwelling place in the evening, we deliver it with the bare necessities for a residential unit. So in terms of turnover conditions, the floor are ceramic and tiles, the ceiling and walls are painted and finished, and then we provide all of the fixtures for the toilet and bath, and as well as the sink provision for the kitchen. So just to summarize the product offerings that we have for Activa Flex, so we start at the compound office at the 6th to 17th floor, the regular office at the 18th to the 22nd floor, the SOHO units at the 23rd to the 31st floor. So all of these comprise of the 320 units that we have for Activa Flex. In terms of area, we start at 151 square meters for the compound office, 26 square meters for the regular office, and then 20 square meters for the small office home office. In terms of price, we start at 5.6 for the regular office and 4.4 for the small office home office, and we go to as much as 65.3 million for an individual compound office unit. So this is the payment terms that we have. So we have varying reservation fees depending on the unit type. So for the compound office, it's 100,000 pesos per unit. For regular office and SOHO units, it's at 50,000 pesos per unit. We also have designated discounts for any spot cash or spot DP payment terms. Our deferred cash is 100% up to 60 months. And for bank financing, it's 30% spread across 60 months and 70% for the balance. Okay, so for the amenities that we have for Activa Flex, since Activa Flex is an office building, the amenities that we provide would be geared towards more to business endeavors and also promote collaboration among those that work or reside within the building. So instead of the usual swimming pool, the gym, and etc., we provide amenities that provide more space to kickstart collaboration and keep the creative energy flowing. So we have the business lounge, the demo suites, and the sky garden. So here is the business lounge. So if you're familiar with the concept of the co-working space, we will be providing this space for them to use to accommodate more people for meetings, or if they would want to work in a view that is different from their own specific unit, they can do so within this space. And similarly, the demo suites, if the demo suites is like a small showroom, so if they would have any sales events or if they have any product launches, they can utilize this space as well. In terms of facilities that we offer for the building, we have 5 passenger elevators and 1 service elevator. We provide 100% backup power supply for all the common areas and all of the units to ensure that there is no disruption for any business operations that is ongoing on a day-to-day basis within the building. And then, of course, we have the fiber optic backbone for all telecoms and the automatic fire sprinkler and fire detection alarm system for fire safety. And then last component for Activa would be Activa Flats. So Activa Flats would be the residential component of the project. So this component is soon to launch. So it would be under the Aspire brand of Filinvest. So just to summarize why invest in Activa. So Activa is located at a strategic location that highlights premium accessibility, it being a transit-oriented development. We are also a mixed-use concept that provides a variety of product offerings to cater to any needs of any client that we may encounter. And then just to give you an idea of in terms of the parking purchasing, we actually require parking slots to be purchased with specific Activa Flex units. So any whole floor for the compound office would require 12 tandem parking units to be purchased with those from a whole floor. And then for any regular office units that are numbers 1 and 17, 1 slot is required per unit. And then for the 21st floor high ceiling regular office, 1 slot is required once they reach 70 square meters for their purchase. For any 22nd floor executive regular office, 1 slot is required per unit as well. And all 2-bedroom Soho units also require 1 slot per unit. For any typical Soho and RO unit, we do not require any parking slot purchase, but they may avail of 1 parking slot only, since we are limited in terms of the parking that we may provide to the clients.